What in the bloody hell? Oh, it's you. Sorry about that. Tonight, as you can see, I'm guarding a school. And man, if you think they're unnerving during the day, they're downright creepy at night. That's why I got all the lights on. What's that? Oh no. Of course not. I have never seen any ghost here. After all, we all know that ghosts don't exist. Hey dude, what's wrong? Your hand is shaking so much you're spilling your coffee. I know what will calm you right down. Some good old-fashioned Reddit stories. Like this one, for example. This story is from an OP that is having a bit of a feud with her mother-in-law over the name of the OP's upcoming child.
AITAH for telling my mother-in-law her grandparent rights don't entitle her to naming my child. I'm 27 and I'm 7 months pregnant with my first baby. My husband and I found out we're having a girl and we picked a name, Arden. It's gender neutral, literary, we both love Shakespeare, and most importantly, it's ours. His mother hates it, as in, visibly grimaces every time it's mentioned. She keeps calling the baby Angelica, which was apparently her mother's name, and has gone so far as to personalize a baby blanket with Angelica embroidered on it. Last weekend at a family barbecue, she introduced the name in front of everyone like it was decided. I can't wait to meet little Angelica. I snapped and said, "You're not naming her. She's not your baby." Now I'm being painted as disrespectful and hormonal, with multiple family members telling me to apologize because it's just a name and I hurt her feelings. But I'm the one carrying this baby. I'm the one giving birth, and I don't want to have this fight after the baby is born. AITAH for calling her out publicly?
No, you're not an TA. That's your daughter. Her name is only yours and your husband's business. And if your sweet little mother-in-law tries handing you something that has the name Angelica on it again, just hand it back and say, "Sorry, Mom, but you misspelt my daughter's name." Next, we have one from an OP that has a boyfriend that must think he has an awesome sense of humor. I bet he thinks a lot of things that isn't true.
AITA for leaving my boyfriend at the bar after he told the waitress I was his sister as a joke? Okay, so this happened last weekend and I'm still getting heat from my friends and even my mom for how I handled it. I'm 21 and I have been dating my boyfriend who's 27 for about 8 months. Things have been mostly great. He's cute, charming, a little cocky sometimes, but whatever. He has this habit of joking about not being serious with me when we're around other people. At a party once, he introduced me as a friend of a friend. Another time, he pretended he forgot my name in front of his college buddy. Every time I've brought it up, he's brushed it off as just a joke. Anyway, we were out with a few of his friends at this bar. It was pretty packed, and the waitress was definitely flirting with him, smiling a little too hard, touching his arm, that kind of thing. I wasn't too bothered at first. He can be friendly and doesn't always realize when someone's hitting on him. But then I got up to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, I heard the waitress laughing and saying, "Oh my God, seriously?" I asked what was so funny, and she said, "Your brother is hilarious." I looked at him, and he smirked and said, "Yeah, I told her you're my sister. Just messing with her." I didn't laugh. I just said, "Cool," grabbed my stuff and walked out. I took an Uber home. He didn't follow me, but he texted saying I was being dramatic and that it was just a joke. I haven't seen him since. Now his friends are messaging me saying I embarrassed him, and even my mom said I should have just played along instead of storming off like a child. She said guys do dumb stuff sometimes, and if I want to keep a man I need to pick my battles. I don't know. It just felt icky. Like he was trying to downplay our relationship or seem available for the attention.
You're NTA. A joke is only a joke if everyone, including the subject of the joke, thinks it's funny. If not, then it's an insult. And just saying it's a joke isn't some magical get-out-of-jail-free card. Besides, how do you know he said it as a joke? I mean, maybe he told the waitress that you were his sister in hopes of getting her phone number. Just saying. Let's see what someone else thinks. This comment was posted by Meteorite42. 6-year age gap between them, and OP acted more maturely than her boyfriend. NTA. OP, block all his friends and other flying monkeys who are criticizing your response. Yep, good idea. This one is from a dude that is planning to move to Hawaii without telling his wife. Wow, I can just see how that would play out. She gets home and goes, "Honey, I'm home. Wait, where the hell did he go?" Geez, talk about awkward.
AITAH for not telling my wife I'm moving to Hawaii permanently. I'm 26, and I have been married to my wife, who's 25, for 4 years. She and I have had our fair share of disagreements or arguments that turn into one of us raising our voices. We've never blatantly yelled at one another, or using bad words directly to one another, always about whatever we're disagreeing on. She has left me 4 times. First 2 times were a week long. Third time she said it was over and that she would eventually file papers, separated for 5 months. Fourth time she just said, "I need a few months before we can talk again." I've started to see a therapist and psychologist and was recently diagnosed with a number of things as I had been struggling with psychosis among other things, PTSD, depression, anxiety. She's always been the one to leave and she usually plans far ahead for when she does leave. She's never given me a warning, it's always been, "Alright, I'm out," with her already having things in place for herself. This last time was like every other time, she planned it, and I found out as she was grabbing her things to leave. I fell to my knees pleading with her as I had been at my lowest mentally before she left, and since I don't have contact with family anymore, she's really all I had in terms of family. As I knelt there begging her to stay, she said, "We'll talk in a few months," and left. Every time she leaves, I must cater to her even more so than the last time. It's almost like she's training me like a dog. With her knowing I don't have many other people to where I've called a crisis hotline a number of times, she thought it would be best if we went no contact for a while. I'm also almost positive she just booked a cruise with her best friend, and she's made efforts to ensure I don't find out. Hawaii, I have a family member who I haven't seen in a decade stationed there. Him and I have always had an amazing relationship, and when she left I tried reaching out to as many people as possible as I cry for help as every night grew longer and darker in more ways than one. He was one of the few to reach back out and he invited me to live with him and his wife for a bit until I get settled with a job, healthcare worker, and eventually a place. I booked my flight and while she said, "I won't be filing papers. I'm afraid this cycle will continue. I'll take you back but you've got to do this. I have plans of just up and leaving. We currently share an apartment which she's moved out of for the most part. I'd be leaving her with the lease for the last 2 months. So essentially, AITAH for leaving her high and dry this time."
Nope, you're NTA. It sounds like she's done it 4 times to you already. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I mean, you'll probably have a nicer view out of your new bedroom window than she ever has. Besides, think about it. If she dumped you 4 times in 4 years, then what hope does your marriage really have? But let's see what old actor 55 thinks. Get out. File for divorce, abandonment, go to Hawaii, don't tell her a thing. Get yourself together. Next, we have one from a lawyer that is thinking about dumping her boyfriend for ruining her swearing-in moment. Why? What did he do? Fart during the ceremony or something?
AITA if I break up with my boyfriend for ruining my attorney swearing-in moment. Hi, I'm 35, and I was recently sworn in as an attorney, but my boyfriend, who's 33, ruined it. I graduated law school in May 2023. I was going to take the bar that July, but was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer a month before the exam. The diagnoses threw me for a loop and ruined what I pictured my life after law school would be. I withdrew from the July exam and transferred everything to the February 2024 exam, thinking I'd be done with treatment. Wrong. I took my first bar exam in the middle of radiation treatment and almost 2 months after my surgery. I took that exam mostly because I had already paid, but didn't take it as seriously as I would have had I not just gone through 16 rounds of chemo, surgery, and actively in radiation treatment. Unfortunately, I had to take the bar exam a couple extra times before I got a passing score, which, Given that I just finished my active cancer treatments in May 2025, I guess it's not that bad. Fast forward to now. I got a notification that my oath ceremony was Tuesday of this week. Since life loves to throw curveballs at me, I opted to do the swearing in via Zoom because my dad had a heart attack the Tuesday before and 5 mini strokes after that, which left him with limited mobility. My boyfriend and I live about 1.5 hours away from my parents. I went to my parents and he stayed at home. I wanted him to be there with me, not just to witness such a momentous moment for me, but also as support because of everything my parents are going through. My mom has stage 4 gastric cancer. Things with getting him to my parents was just too complicated, so we agreed we would FaceTime during the ceremony. The ceremony started, and the judge was giving her speech and began swearing people in. My boyfriend was waiting on the call patiently for most of it. However, at one point, I saw out of the corner of my eye that he had gone into a store. That happened just as it was about to be my turn. Then, I saw the call disconnected. He had lost signal. About 3 seconds after the call ended, it was my turn to do the oath. I was already mad because he was going to miss the moment I had waited so long for. But then it got worse. He began to call me repeatedly in the middle of my oath. Every time the call would come in, it would ring on my computer, distracting not only me, but also the judge administering the oath. I would quickly ignore the call, but then another would go through. He called about 6 times, which covered the entire oath. I'm extremely upset. After everything I had gone through to get to that point, and everything I was still going through just for that to happen. Not only did he miss it, but he ruined it. I put my phone to Do Not Disturb, but the calls still came through. Also, would he not figured out by the second or third ignored call that maybe he should stop calling? Part of me thinks he did it on purpose. I don't know how to feel anymore, but I honestly think I want to break up over that. AITAH.
Oh my God, I'm so very sorry that you and your family are going through everything that you are. As for your boyfriend, yeah, that was kind of rude, wasn't it? I mean, I can see losing connection. That happens. Even trying to reconnect once, I can understand. But 6 bloody times. Is he really that dense? If you try to reconnect once and it's rejected, then that probably means you're busy. I mean, if it was me, I would have tried to reconnect once. But once that call didn't go through, then I'd assume that I missed your swearing-in moment. Then, afterwards, give you a big apology, like candy and flowers big. Next up, we got one from an OP that wants to know if she's an AH for going no contact with her ailing father.
AITAH for leaving my 69-year-old father to care for himself and refusing contact? I'm 19 and here's a little background. My biological father, who was 49 at the time, abandoned me while my 29-year-old mother was still pregnant to be with his precious treasure and raise their children. So growing up I didn't get the privilege of actually having my father, but their children did. He watched them grow, bathed them, changed them, took care of their mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. But me, his firstborn daughter may I add, on the other hand, offered my mom $800 in child support for me. Or pop-up visits every now and then when he felt up to it. So for the last 19 years up until the past 2 weeks they've been all each other could ask for in a happy family. While I've just been on the sidelines accepting that this is my life. Until she decided she didn't want him anymore since his health is depleting and he's dependent on prescriptions to keep his blood flowing and unable to work. So she took their daughter and left. So now that she's long gone with the family he thought he had, he's been calling and leaving voicemails and texts about how he loves and misses me. Wishing I'd drop my life in California and run to Vegas to be his last option so he won't be alone. But I just ignore him, and my brother tells me I'm wrong. So am I the AH for leaving a grown man to reap what he sowed?
You're NTA. I mean, what do you really owe this dude? He dumped your mom while she was pregnant with you. You barely saw him growing up. Even the name father is not something he has earned. I mean, it takes more than bloodlines to make a family. Honestly, if it was me, I wouldn't want to see him either. And Fanky Spamble said, NTA, a child is never responsible for their parents, even if they gave them a good life. Live your life and be happy. If he was a good parent, that's what he'd want. If he doesn't want that, then fudge him anyway. Well, that's about it for another night. What say we get the hell out of here? I mean, this place is so damn creepy that I'm not even sure if I'll be able to get to sleep. But I do want to thank you for chilling with me for my whole shift. And you're welcome back anytime. Oh, and please, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. It'll really help me out with that pesky algorithm. Until next time, this is your buddy the security guy, going off duty. Adios.